okay, y'all know who we are. We just gonna jump into it at this point because we are full fledged in.
Rudy Gobert.
Next.
Okay, all right. Let's start there because my biggest question, if we are gonna start with DPOY for awards, how do we measure this? Like I'm genuinely curious. Like, what are we
Well,
using to measure defensive player of the year?
Now, I think you have to consider team, right? And who is leading the team defensively? The Wolves were the best defensive team before Cat went down, and much of that was to the success of Rudy Gobert, right?
Right, right.
Like he's manning the middle. They were playing like astronomical defense, especially for modern day NBA standards.
Yeah,
So you kind of have to give it to him. It's like hands down. Like I know Wemby's blocks are like glaring off of the page,
it's
but
got
outside of that, like I feel like Rudy is just a little more all around.
from a defensive perspective, you
From
mean?
a, yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Got you.
Let's
Uh,
clarify that.
so that's the tough part because do you think that that's why big men are more likely to win the award than guards?
That's a good question.
Because I feel like as a guard, because any team that like I look at the Celtics, I think any team that Drew has been on defensively, like even when Drew was in Milwaukee and you had Brook and Giannis, Drew allowed them to excel at their roles. Like he allowed them both to be shot blockers, but like Drew was also he's your Swiss Army knife. He can be on ball. He can be a roaming person that still helps the defense. And I don't know if he's ever really been in contention for a DPOY, but I wonder. We've seen a lot of bigs win it though, and I think it comes back to that argument that you made where if a big is playing his role, he has a decent amount of blocks, and he's manning the paint, and you're a top five, maybe top 10 defense, depending on all the other, small things that's in there. Yeah, but with that being said, if Gobert is favored to win DPOY, it would be his fourth,
Hmm.
which I think would be tied for the most. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's with Mutombo and
Mm.
Ben Wallace. I think
Elite
maybe
company.
Let me check that out.
I got Mutombo for sure. I don't. I think Ben is the other one, but I'm not 100% sure. But so I don't know if y'all saw it, but Boogie made a good point as well. He said if you give Gobert this fourth defensive player of the year, you're putting him in elite company. You're almost solidifying that he's a Hall of Famer, which to some people he might be. I don't think that's so much the conversation right now, ideally. But Gobert's also somebody who you can't play in certain situations. Like against certain lineups, you can't play Gobert because even with how great he is defensively, he's still such a liability. Thoughts on not I don't want to make it solely about Gobert, but this idea that if that's what if that's what you need or if that's what it takes to get a DPOY, but you're still somebody who can't be played down the stretch in tight games if they go to a small ball lineup or just depending on personnel on the floor, are is he getting away with awards here? Is he taking awards away from other people? Like because Gobert, if he's going to be in elite status like this, it ain't too much that we're going to be able to say about Gobert after this with 4 DPOYs. You know what I'm saying? So, how y'all feel about that dialogue and if y'all have seen it happening over the week?
Okay. We've seen guards win the position. Marcus Smart, I think, was the latest guard to win it. I
Mhm.
think it does take a little bit more for guards to get noticed when it comes to a DPOI. As far as Gobert, are there many bigs that you can leave on the floor in a small ball lineup?
Big.
Like the Lakers, for example, they'll sit AD down and move Braun to the five. You know, like I'm not sure if it's many existing guys in the league that you would trust out there to guard 1 through 5.
That's a great counter. Yeah, go
I
ahead,
will
Galen.
say this year has probably been the best year that he has done the perimeter too. Like
Yeah.
AD
watching
or
games,
Gobert?
Gobert. Like he's played the perimeter a lot better in years past, and I feel like that was by design in Utah, where they were just like, no, camp the paint, like that's what we want to give up, whatever. And now, like they're just like preaching, yeah, just good defense, no easy shots for anybody, and he's kept up with guards much better than what he previously has. So I think for that reason, I could see him getting it. I could see an argument for Vic too if they weren't so bad, but I think that is what that's why you have to give the nod to Gobert in this situation. Like he is helping them like solidify a number one defense in the NBA.
Yeah. I mean, Minnesota also has a better roster to compensate for Gobert's shortcomings than Utah did. So I think he's able to take more chances like on ball and out on the wing because you still have so many great defenders either in help or like, denying like person next to the ball. So I think that allows him to have a bit more
freedom to
lead.
take some gambles.
Yeah, you can take some gambles because you got the personnel to compensate for it. Yeah, just different schemes and things like that. But I do think Gobert will end up getting the DPOY. Getting 4 is going to be crazy, and I guess that's what he'll be known for. But 4 DPOYs and no chips, it's going to be pretty terrible if that's how his career ends. But nonetheless,
did Matumbo get a ring?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, he did. Fact check right quick.
Wait, no, you're right.
I don't think he got one though.
Yeah, he lost in Philly. He was on that team, right? Yeah.
No chips.
Nope. Lost in. Well, I mean that Denver team.
So if not for Matumbo's finger, we wouldn't even really be talking about him like that.
Yeah, hey, we'll be talking about Rudy Gobert's fingers for a while.
Yeah.
Hey, yo.
Going down in history.
That was crazy. I watched that, and that was insane.
Yeah.
And he got people. That was it. For everybody, that might have been the first transmission that they've ever. They're like, oh my God, wait, what?
Nah, for real. Nah,
yeah, nuts.
But that's DPOY. Let's see. We don't have to really talk about clutch player. I don't know all the stats that go into that either. I think Steph or potentially DeMar is favored this year. Steph's clutch, so cool. DeMar is reliable and clutch, so cool, but I don't got too much stake in that one. We don't have to get too in depth in coach of the year, but I do not know how to say OKC's head coach name, so I won't try to and disrespect him like that. But he got coach of the year, and I just think deservedly so. I mean, I feel like I've been saying it, but you got a team that was what, the 9 seed last year, and almost got in to get the 8 seed, and then now they're the 1 seed, tiebreaker or not. Like they've been at the top of the West standings all season. So I think it's hard to not go with that. But I think the other coaches that were in the running, Jamal Mosley in Orlando, great candidate. Finch in Minnesota, another great candidate. A lot of people say Mazzulla, and for this year, not even so much just because of team success, but because just the step he took personally from last year, kind of just taking that team on like without any time to really prepare. And this year it kind of being more so his team, and he seemed to be a little bit more comfortable at the helm. He's a great honorable mention, but yeah, I think OKC's head coach definitely is deserved. Did y'all have thoughts on coach of the year? Or any strong thoughts for that matter, I guess?
You're right.
Cool.
If I wanted to play devil's advocate, would I go with Minnesota's head coach?
Chris Finch? I don't see why not. They were a couple, like literally a game away from getting the 1 seed. And then at that point, we're like, oh, Chris Finch.
And had not Cat gone down. Now, I always predicted that they wouldn't finish as number 1. But had Cat not gone down, I feel like he would have tested my argument a little bit more. I feel like due to injury, maybe he's out of the conversation, but that's not fair.
It's not. And Minnesota made a similar leap like OKC did, like from the play-in to top of the standings and being there, the majority of the year. So I think both are equally deserving. I wouldn't have been upset at either one. But yeah, so yeah, coach of the year is cool. I want to say those are all rookie of the year is a runaway. So it ain't too much to debate about that. Great rookie class though. Don't get me wrong. A lot of good rookies.
Ended better.
lot of good rookies, especially toward the end of the season too. So don't want to make it seem like the rookie class is terrible, but I mean Vic is just a runaway for it because
I would like to say though, I think Rookie of the Year is the most individualized award on this list. Like we don't blame we know that rookies are getting drafted to teams. So if their team isn't as good, we don't blame them for that. You know what I mean? Whereas when we're arguing all NBA MVP, we're inserting team success in that.
Yeah, and I think they almost did when they were like, "Oh, Chet's got to be Rookie of the Year. His team is doing better. He's providing more on his team." But it's like you got to go with who's putting up the generational stats at that point. Like, I don't think there's a question on like, oh yeah, because I think we know, yeah, they're getting drafted into poor situations most of the time. Like the better picks at that too. So yeah,
Mhm.
I know that is an interesting viewpoint though. I never really thought about it that way too.
I don't really disagree with that though. I mean, I think because and I mean if you look at it, Chet's played a major role in OKC, don't get me wrong, but I think this would be a different argument if I guess if Chet had a larger role. Because I
Yeah,
don't think I also in the case of the Spurs, I don't think the Spurs lack of success is on Vic, really. So I
Mhm.
think for a lot of
no,
people, when they're looking at that situation, they're saying if that team comp is different, or if the players are rung in a little bit earlier, or if they let the leash off of Vic a little bit sooner, maybe there is a little bit more team success. Or if they aren't necessarily worried about like maintaining him as much, but also what he did when he was on the court was just really hard to ignore as well. So I agree with it being individualized. And I guess because they're rookies, I guess it's easy to individualize it because you can really just go off of who had the better statistical year because that's
Mhm.
really all we can go off of. There are no expectations on you as a player. I don't know if that makes it unfair that that's not applied to the other awards. But that is a really interesting, it's a really interesting case though. Yeah, I never thought
yeah.
about it, but
Shout out this rookie class though.
yeah,
What one of the best jersey swaps that has ever happened.
Okay.
you know the jersey swap he's talking about.
Grady. Yeah.
First of all, Grady himself and the reporters, everybody's terrible for allowing these things to happen. And
Someone
nobody
got fired off that.
Yeah,
No,
somebody got fired.
you
Yep.
did.
Yes.
he did his job. He did
Orlando
his
Magic, I
job.
think the Magic's social media man got fired.
I'm sure he did. Yeah,
He did what he was supposed to do.
that's a fireable offense. I'm
Hmm.
He's just posting a
from a
jersey.
professional standpoint, that's a fireable offense.
What, were you supposed to
Didn't it?
censor it?
It
What?
said it said black and then Grady's last name. That's not cool.
They could have got on different sides, bro. If
They
nothing,
really could have.
They
That
would
was
have
nothing
fired him
else,
either way. They would have fired him either way. Even if they switched sides, they would have been
yeah.
like, too close.
I mean, it's slippery. It's a slippery slope either way. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? But if he had went the other way first, he could at least said, "Well, at least it wasn't switched, and it looked like But teach us all. Say, hey, man,
Hey, and that was probably the most interaction the Orlando Magic page got ever.
No, seriously.
yeah.
I would have had a stern talking to and delete the post. I don't know if I would have fired
I would have been like, here's a
Don't
different
worry.
position with a different title.
him.
Just shuffle them around a little bit.
Yeah, we could use you somewhere because no one's
Okay.
keeping eyes on the Orlando Magic.
Okay. So now we're gonna get into the nitty gritty. Gail is going off vibes, people, per usual. So
Why you
y'all know
gotta-
what to expect there. Let's start with six man of the year. Let's start with six man. I'm a give y'all some stats, right? And I just want y'all to let me know what y'all think is the better stat line for the award. Okay.
I
Do you give us records too?
Dang, I had
no, that'll give it away, right?
that's the only thing I didn't add. So I
Okay,
won't
okay.
give records, but I do have
Yeah.
games played and games started
Okay.
for these players. So
I'm
we got
excited because this. I'm sorry. I'm so excited. We're about to cook. We are about to cook.
oh yeah, no,
So
it's
excited.
about
All
to
right,
get
go
loud.
ahead. I'm
No,
sorry.
it's about to get loud. 15.4 points per game, 2.9 rebounds per game, 5.1 assists per game, 72 games played, 0 games started. It's player one. Player two, 13.8 points per game, 7.4 rebounds per game, 1.3 assists per game, 82 games played, 5 games started.
Bobby Portis.
That is Bobby Portis.
Malik Monk.
Third player, 16.9 points per game, 3.4 rebounds per game, 3.1 assists per game, 79 games played, 33 games started. Last player, 13.5 points per game, 5.2 rebounds per game, 1.3 assists per game, 81 games played, 14 games started. Player one is Malik Monk. Player two was Bobby Portis. Player three is Naz Reid. And player four is Bogdan Bogdanovic.
Unfortunately, due to team success. Who'd you select?
No bias. I truly think it's Bobby. I'm not going to lie. No bias.
Right? Sorry, I thought I was gonna be crazy for saying that.
No. So I get votes for Monk. I get votes for Naz Reid too. I don't want to count the fact that Naz Reid started games with Cat out against him, right? Because I don't know if maybe that's responsible for a little bit of the uptick in his points, but I don't think that takes away from his role as the sixth man. I think Monk is probably he's the most electrifying player out the group. He might have the loud by a small margin over Bobby. He might have the loudest impact off the bench, but I think that Bobby was the most consistent. And if you look at, granted, Bucks are the 3 seed, so it's not like they had a terrible year, but we know that they've struggled. But Bobby has been probably outside of Giannis the one constant for the Bucks this season.
People wanted to trade him. His shot was not yicking, as the kids say. But
Yicking.
that's the new.
When they start saying that.
I ain't never heard yicking in my life.
Yep, y'all getting to a point. I'm in a high school. I hear it all the day.
I gotta
the
be
time.
getting
Yep.
to a point.
Yep. So yicking. Word of the day today. What was it like? It was something big last time. Yeah, now it's yicking. But no, yeah. So, but full bias aside, he got it together. He's been I'd say the cultural, constant for us. Like when Pat got here, it just amplified. We just got to a point where it's like, oh, okay, now we're very obnoxious and mid. But at least we have some personality and some, identity going into the playoffs. I feel like that's what a lot of teams lack, is just a true identity, heat culture, whatever you may call it. So I'm just happy that, we got it. He's been here and been doing his thing. Not that Malik Monk hasn't been putting it down this year either. I think he's the last of a dying breed in terms of Jamal Crawford's off the bench, Lou Williams is off the bench, that type of six man. But yeah, I can see why you would give it to Bobby. Bias included in that.
That's without my bias in it. Of course, I would love to see Bobby get the six man. We know Giannis ain't gonna get the MVP, so I would love to see the Bucks take home somewhere, But yeah, but would y'all have a different pick for six man?
Yeah, I chose Naz Reid. I understand his stats aren't as dazzling as the other stats that you named. But for example, when Cat went down and he was inserted into that starting lineup, they remained a top 3 seed, right?
Mm-hmm.
On the other side in the East, when Joel Embiid went down and they were the 2 seed, what happened to that team? They were in a play-in position. So I feel like that in mind, and he had us questioning whether or not Cat should be traded. That's how good Naz Reid has been off the bench. He's been balling, and I feel like with all of that considered, he's had I think the most impact.
I don't disagree with that. I can't argue that either. Gail, is Bobby your pick, or were you going somewhere else?
I was going to choose Malik Monk.
Okay.
Just
I
in
don't think
terms
you
of,
can go wrong. I really
I
don't
don't
think you can
either.
go wrong
yeah.
here.
Kings
Uh,
went 4-6 while he was out. Like that's impact, you know.
yeah. So like I said, last of a dying breed. He does reflect what a typical 6-man would. I feel like how many games started from Malik Monk?
Zero.
13? Zero.
Zero.
So yeah.
The
So
72
that it
played, zero.
yeah, out of all of them, it's like, Bobby had 5 starts, 13 for Nasri. Don't want to hold that against him. And Bogdan, how many did he start? Because I swear he had to have started in Detroit. Did he not?
No, not Bogan. Bogdan,
Bojan.
Um,
Oh,
Atlanta.
Bogdan. Oh, that was Bogdan.
Bogdan, Atlanta.
So
Atlanta.
he started, how many did he start? He started a good amount.
You only started 14.
14, but they're terrible. Sorry, why
Yeah,
are they?
exactly.
And
Sorry, like,
but Nas Reed did start 33. But again, that's with Cat going down. So a
yeah.
large portion of those games is because of that.
But
So
still, though, I think out of all, and granted, Bobby's is very low. I think, yeah, Malik Monk fully represents that, what a typical 6-man would be. And he still put up great stats. So,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I'm not I think Malik is favored to win it. Like Bobby is one of those players that for a lot of voters, at least like some of the articles I've seen, like he's mentioned, he's just not like one of those top 3 candidates. For a lot of people, it's Monk, Reed, and Bogdanovich. So
How is
I
Sorry.
mean,
They need
Bogdanovich.
a top
I mean, yeah,
three.
I'm gonna say Bogdanovich off the bench for Atlanta. Granted, Atlanta hasn't had a lot of team success, but his play was very consistent. I had him in
But
fantasy.
I swore that 6-man was for, those teams where it's like they were very good and they had someone that contributed to wins.
Yeah,
I
No?
agree. I mean, that was part of my criteria when we were researching for this. So, well, when I was doing my homework.
see, that's the thing. We have real criteria. Who knows what the analysts for the league are looking at? You know,
Wars,
What?
value over replacement.
no, that's real. But that's 6-man. Next, most improved. The 3 leading candidates that I've seen and that I would have picked as well. Kobe White was somebody I was looking at regardless.
Okay.
Maxey was somebody I was looking at regardless. Even though Maxey's situation, it's a different situation from Ja's a couple years ago, or maybe that was last year. Whatever year Ja won it, but like Ja was
Was
also
an
All-Star that
MVP
year,
consideration.
potentially. But whatever year he gave it to
And a
Bane, I think
second
that
pick. Yeah, he did give it to Bame. Yeah, that was
uh,
last year.
last year. Okay, so I think it's a little different than that, right? But I think everybody expected this out of Maxey. So I think that's the hard part. It's like if you expected him to take that leap because the ball is in his hands more, and that's the role he has on the team, it's hard. But that's not to say that he didn't make improvements. But it's kind of hard because it's like, is it a difference in you improving from skill, or did you just get more of an opportunity?
Well, also, that's a really good point. But I also feel like even with expectations, the fact that he lived up to them, like
He
people,
exceeded them, honestly.
yeah, like a lot of people wouldn't have done that. You know what I mean? So I think that should be considered. I'm on the Kobe White train though, so
He's my pick as well. Kobe
yeah,
White is my pick as well. But Jalen Williams, J Dub, is another candidate for most improved as well.
I'll take
I
that. Yeah.
think J Dub's case, not so much is hurt. I just don't think it's as strong as the other two because it wasn't as loud. And but what I will say is though, I don't want to get into the weeds of who has more potential between J Dub and Maxi, right? I don't want to get into the weeds of that. But I think that J Dub has the potential, like for a just much larger role in general that isn't going to be measured by like his stats. I don't think we're going to be picking apart his stats saying, oh, he averaged this amount of points. This is low because his impact on the court is going to outweigh it by so much. But I think it just hurts his case because Kobe's jump was ridiculous. And then Maxi's jump, because of what people kind of already expected and him exceeding it, is ridiculous. And I think J Dub's jump is different in the sense that like it wasn't as big of a jump, but I think he's just getting more respect because of the problem he'll be in like 2-3 years. Like how serious of a problem he'll really be. And he can truly be like a 2 option to Shea. Like he has that type of potential. So, but with those 3 though, I'm on the Kobe White train too. I just think, granted, opportunity because of injury, but the jump he made, like he's averaging like 10 more points this
He had
year.
40 last night.
40 in a play-in.
48 and 5, something like
I'm
that.
going with, I think it was 42, but I'm you saying like the rest of the stat line. But
Yeah.
yeah. But I'm going with Kobe for most improved.
Did
think
Tyrese
so.
Halliburton not make the games requirement?
He did play 65.
He played 65?
Yeah.
He made 65 games this year?
Yep.
Oh, that is shocking. I did not think that.
Yeah, I just think that the gap was too noticeable for him. Like he just didn't play at that time when like votes are going to be garnered. He had a great first half of the year, and then post February didn't play as much, and then plays a couple, okay games in late April. And
Narrowly.
that's
Yeah,
gonna
he played 69.
yeah, it's not gonna tip the scale.
Okay.
So I don't think the narrative is there for it.
Change my 15 players for all NBA right quick.
Exactly, because I was looking at him.
My bad.
Exactly. Gotta put some
So-
respect on Halliburton. But no, Miguel, good point. Great point. I think the timing of his injury was just detrimental to any argument in terms of the most improved, because he would definitely be up there, especially as a starter. I feel like he's turned Indiana around as far as like the identity that they have nowadays. Man, the play-in vibes were amazing, or not play-in, the in-season tournament vibes were amazing in Indiana. So, yeah, I think the timing of his injury made all the difference.
The honorary mention, Paolo, like should definitely
Yeah.
get a nod in there.
Yeah.
I think who else? And J-Dubs, especially just because like every month he has increased his points per game. Like it started at like I think near like 11, and now it's up towards like 22, 23. Like it's nuts.
Something like
That's
that.
fire.
I think he ended the season at 19. I think he averaged like a little like right over 14 last season. And I think he had like, 19.1 or 2 for the season. But yeah, MIP is gonna be good too. I think it's going to go to Maxey, and I'm not mad at that, but I do think that should be Kobe White's award this season. That's where I land on that. Okay. All right. Time to have this MVP conversation, man. Okay. I don't think we need to really go over it too much. We know who these people are. We know what's going on here. I'm gonna do it right now, Gail. Honorable mention Giannis. I'm just gonna take him out. No disrespect.
No.
No shade. Great season. Great individual season.
Historic.
Just falls out the top 3 here. Just is what it is. But Jokic, Luka, Shea.
3, 2, 1, right?
Exactly. For me.
I'd have to agree. There are a lot of people that have Jokic at 1, and I don't think that this year because I didn't. So remember last pod, I said Jokic might be second team. I rescind that. I take that back. I lied. He's absolutely first team for sure.
Yeah.
Because the numbers are not way better, but they're much higher than I thought they were. Right. So 26.4 points per game, 12.4 rebounds, 9 assists.
Yes.
And you a tiebreaker away from the 1 seed.
Mm-hmm.
That's tough.
Cruising.
And the way they played after the All-Star break, I mean, ridiculous. Like the machine is already rolling. So there's nothing I can take away from Jokic. But
that was the only thing that did take away is that I think the team played so well.
Facts. In Denver
Oh,
interesting.
Miguel.
Like Christian Brown and Peyton Watson just start to turn, like all of them, like as a unit, you can see like they became a championship team. And I think Jokic is the focal point, but he didn't have to do. It's like the Jason Tatum argument all over again, where it's just like a little bit where they just blend too well. They gel a little bit too
Oh,
well.
I think
Cook. He's cooking.
so. I think the Tatum argument is a little bit different, only because the man averaging 9 assists. Okay. And so
Yeah.
because of how Denver plays, they play through Jokic. So I think how the team looks depends on how Jokic looks. So
Yeah.
I think that's why it's hard because, and I don't want to take away from the other players on that team. Obviously, Murray is Murray. Like Gordon is a sleeper in terms of like what he does for that team. So I don't want to take away from what the rest of the team brings to the table. But I don't want to diminish Jokic's impact on how the team performs and given the numbers. Now, I do say all that to say, I think because Denver has been this good and because we've seen Jokic do this, for me, I don't want to say like, oh, well, we expect it, so he shouldn't get recognized for it. But I think that what Shea and Luca did this year and where their teams landed this year, I think just speaks more volume to how valuable they are to their teams, which is why I have them 1 and 2 over Jokic. But it's really just a log jam at one for real.
One
I want
ABC, yeah.
yeah.
It is. It is. But as far as what you said about Jokic, his success determines the success of Denver. I'm not sure. Because going in every single night, teams are preparing for Jokic to have 26, 10, and 9. You know what I mean? And an off night for Jokic is still 15, 10, and 10. So I'm not sure how much his presence truly impacts the play of the people around him. I understand the assist, but I'm saying individually, MPJ, Jamal Murray, Christian Brown, how much does the attention on Jokic truly take or truly propels their game? Does that make sense? Because when
Yeah.
I watch
Like,
Denver
yeah.
play, I don't necessarily see a lot of people collapsing on Jokic. I
I mean,
don't see
can't. Yeah, you can't really. Like, I mean,
right.
you have to, but you can't because it ain't gonna do nothing for you.
Yeah. So how much of that defensive attention is he taking away from those players to allow them to open up?
It's a great argument. It's a great argument. I also think it's interesting with Jokic because with Shea and Luca at the point guard position, they just have a bit more control. I think,
Mhm.
which is, I mean, tit for tat because like Jokic has the ball in his hands a lot anyway. But I do see the argument. I do see the point, but I I think it's been Shea for me because being around the top of the West all season, not only him making another leap from the leap he made last year, but that also being a large reason why the team made such a leap and stayed there. Like this does not feel like an overachieving year for them. This feels like no, this is where they are. This is how they play, and they really can only get better. And I think with that being said, I think that's why the award should go to Shea. Now, Luca has a great case. I'm not gonna lie to
Yeah.
you. Luca has an amazing case. Scoring champion, still essentially averaging just about a just about a triple double.
A 34.
34, 9, and 9. Like, and then talk about the way he was playing post All-Star break. I
Mm.
mean, what was that? What was that? 6 or 7 games straight of 30-point triple doubles or something like that?
Out of his
Like,
mind.
like insane. And for Dallas to
Yeah.
end up as a 5 seed, and mind you, if you look back at some of the scores of those games for Dallas, there's a lot of games they lost like at the buzzer, or a lot of games maybe they should have lost. Not to mention the games that Luka missed, that Kyrie missed. So you talking about a team that could have been the 4 seed. Like you. So if even if we looking at seeding, it's like Luka got a hell of a case too. So I really don't know. I don't know what voters are going to look at. But for me, like I said, I'm going Shea just because of the individual jump along with the team jump. And although the numbers aren't as flashy as the other two for Shea, I think when you also consider that he's top 2 or top 3 in the league in steals, I think average 2 a game as well. I think his stat line balances out outside of the big 3 categories, along with having the 1 seed, along with having however many 30-point games, during the season, averaging 30, third in the league in scoring, barely beat out by Giannis, 0.3 points. So Shea's my pick, and it seems like Shea is y'all pick too. But this might be one of the closest MVP races in recent history from like a legit
No,
stat line impact on team standpoint.
yeah, it's definitely close. And Shea would be my pick too, because like you said, 50 plus games with 30 points. Come on now, that's over half the season. Then they're the youngest team in the league. And in the toughest conference, they're the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
What? Their big came off a season ending foot injury, and he didn't even play all of last year.
Is there a
Like,
comeback player of the year?
Ooh, is
right.
there?
Because if so, it's Chet's. That's Chet's hands down. But
No,
my
the
thing
NFL has it.
is for Shea to be the leader of a team with all of those things considered, like he is hands down the guy in OKC. He's the MVP.
Yeah. Honorary mention Anthony Edwards, but
Hmm.
I fully agree.
I think and if you had 10 players up for consideration, and would be in that 10.
Yeah,
I
he
think he's
was.
five.
You think he's in the top 5? He don't
I
got a
think
better he don't got a better case than Brunson if you was gonna round out the top 5. Because I would round it out with
tied for 1 seed into that last game, led a team that didn't have Cat second half of the season, Western Conference. I think, he fully deserves to be there.
let's say
With
he's let's say he's 6 and put him behind Brunson.
I think
Because nobody thought the Knicks were gonna be a 2nd seed either.
Yeah, nobody thought that. That's true. But nobody thought the Wolves would be top of the West either.
You right.
I didn't
Right
personally.
about that.
check the previous. I was very wrong about Dallas. I think I was very close with Minnesota.
It get cold like Minnesota.
Right.
That's
But
outrageous.
okay.
It's a
So
good
so that
song.
is it's a great song. So that is MVP. So before we solidify these all NBA teams, right? Do y'all think we could agree on a list of the 15 players, the 15 best players in the NBA this season? Before we break down first, second, and third team, do you think we can agree on a list of 15 players, the best players this season?
Agree on a list, yes. Where they land as far as first, second, and third, absolutely
Yeah.
not.
I don't expect us to
I
agree.
think this first team list will reveal some differences.
I think we'll all be on the same accord.
Here's
Yeah.
okay. Here's my 15 players, right?
Wait.
Yeah.
SGA, Luka, Jokic, Giannis, Tatum, Brunson, Sabonis, Ant, Book, KD, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Steph Curry, De'Aaron Fox, and Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah, no, I got about 2 names that aren't on my list that you mentioned.
I think I know one name you might have that I wouldn't be mad seeing him in the 15 if it's the name I think it is. I'll let you know. I'll let you know if I hear the name actually.
Okay, perfect.
How many did you just count off? That was 15?
I think it was 15.
Yeah, it was. You're correct. Let me just put some numbers next to him.
I forgot. Miguel's going off a vibe, so he is currently computing his list as we speak.
My AI is booting up.
Oh man.
Okay, so Ashley, who's your players?
I've got Shea,
Mhm.
Luca,
Mhm.
Tatum,
Mhm.
Giannis,
Mhm.
Jokic,
Mhm.
AE, Anthony Edwards, Brunson,
Mhm.
Kevin Durant, Kawhi,
Mm. That wasn't
LeBron,
okay.
Steph, Book, Anthony Davis, Jalen Brown, and Halliburton.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's in order. Like as far as like not 1 through 15, but five first, 5 second, five third.
Hmm. Okay. Okay.
What was the name you were thinking though? Because you didn't tell me.
I I was thinking that you might throw in Zion, more than likely for third team, but
Honorable mention.
honorable mention because of the up and down season, his most consistent
Exactly.
season though,
Yeah.
looked great toward the end of the season, which
Yep.
might have helped his case. But honorable mention. And you got Kawhi on second team.
Yes. Yes, I did.
Hmm.
23.7, 6 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 52.5% from the field. I could see him maybe being third for me. I get the argument.
13.
I get the argument for all NBA though. He did have a good year.
Not
And
his best by
not
far.
his best, but he had a good year. He had a good year. Decent year. Gail, do you have any replacements for the list?
I
Oh,
think
no, okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm what? So you have Jalen Brunson first team?
Do I?
I I personally have Brunson on second team.
Yeah, I have him second.
Okay, I was gonna say because first team SGA, Luka, Jokic, Giannis, Tatum. Right? That's
Exactly.
That's my
Yes.
first team.
okay. Just wanted to double check. I had one booked down wrong. Second team, Ant, Brunson,
Mm-hmm. Sabonis.
the bonus Booker, KD.
Brunson and Sabonis for sure. I'm trying to figure out if there's a case for AD on second team because I think there might be.
And I think it's gonna be AD, KD, and then Book goes to third team.
Yes,
Correct? Yeah.
Uh,
I do feel
it,
that.
there is a case for AD second team, but I just, albeit disappointing season for the team. I felt like the Clippers. I'm sorry, the Clippers having the better seed, not having to vie for a playoff position in the play-in, just kind of edged Kawhi over AD for me.
Let me look at. I'm not mad at the logic.
Because honestly, I could see Kawhi being 13 over Book.
It's
13 over
also
Book.
positionless.
Okay. So then really wouldn't
So
matter. I'm gonna say
AD so AD averaged 24.7, 12.6, 3.5 on 55% shooting. But
All
also
that, oh, I'm sorry, all
he
that on
also
300 more shots this season too compared to last year.
I don't know if
So
that's a
those stats
bad
are
thing. I'm trying to get his block numbers 2.3. So would you put So KD's a lock on second team then. That's seeming like the consensus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if Brunson's a lock, Ant's a lock, KD's a lock.
Bonus.
I know I personally think Sabonis is a lock on second
Yeah.
team. So it is between AD and Kawhi. Sheesh.
I'm gonna give it to AD.
How many games Kawhi played this year?
68.
That's a
That's like-
generational question.
Mhm.
Who played more games in a season?
He played
between
68. AD played 76. And I think that's the most games that both of them played in
in the
recent
last 5 years, at least.
That's tough. Yeah, that's a preference thing at this point. I think. Yeah, it depends on what you want to go on. Because if you do want to go off of team success, impact in that regard, I can see you giving it to Kawhi because even in the games that Bron was out, and it was AD, I mean, he had some great games against us, but I think the team record still was like, it was under 500 for sure. Yeah, I don't want to decide. I mean, I'm leaning AD, but Kawhi does have a great argument because the stats aren't that different. And they're a 4 seed, so I still might give it to AD though, personally. That's tough. That's tough to round out that second team. So then third team is take your pick
LeBron,
AD, Bron.
Steph, Kawhi.
So Gail, for me and you, it'd be
LeBron third team, yo.
yeah.
To the day.
Still averaged 25, 7, and 7, didn't he?
He had 1,000 points off of assist this season.
Who? Wait, what? Is that bad?
No, that's great.
Great.
Yeah.
Wait,
1,000 on passing the ball?
Wait, but you think Bron should be second team?
I do.
Spicy.
I do.
Spicy. Who you taking? So
You're
Kawhi and
taking
Bron on second team
Yeah. I didn't have Sabonis on the list.
at all?
No,
Interesting.
I did
Ooh,
not.
that's some crazy. This is about to be a
I did
gas
not.
moment.
If you lost on Tuesday night, you wouldn't even be in the postseason. You know what I mean?
But that
10,
easily
and
could
then
have
if we
been,
were go
could have
ahead.
been LeBron or Steph. Easy.
No, it could not have been because even if this format play-in stuff didn't happen, we wouldn't have saw the Kings in the playoffs.
So wait, you have Steph on your list and not Sabonis?
I do, and there's a different criteria for Steph, and I'm gonna tell you why. I have Steph because he carried that team on his back solely. Name one player outside of the rookie that gave Steph some help.
Draymond when he was there.
Come on,
When he was
Miguel.
there, when he wasn't kicking himself out of games.
Come on, Miguel.
Klay Thompson
Come on.
needed to go 0 for
I ain't
10.
gonna lie.
How many games did Draymond when he was in his right mind and wasn't in the antics?
Hey,
How many games did he play?
Less
I know he wouldn't even be if he was defensively the same Draymond, he wouldn't even be capable of winning the award because it's less than 65.
He has Tracy Ellis Ross.
Oh my goodness.
Or Taylor Horton Tucker. Or he has 3 names.
Oh man.
One of those.
Is Ross, bro?
Starts with the T.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
Okay. All right.
How many games did Draymond play?
I don't
Enough.
know.
Not the
No.
full 65 to be on DPOY mention like he should be.
Exactly. So how is that helping Steph at all?
He's there for 50.
Wait, how many games did Draymond play?
I'm gonna say at least
played,
I know it's less than
55.
it has to be.
55. Not
Draymond
bad.
played 55.
More than Ben Simmons.
And then we're talking about Sabonis on a team where arguably he could have the 6th man of the year.
So bonus
And you're still
average 19.4, 13.7, and
no,
8.2.
I know. I
on
know.
damn near
It's
60%
cute.
shooting.
It's cute.
Cute. Hey
It's
man,
cute.
you can't rock him on third team.
It is.
I gotta look. If you at least put him on third team, he ain't gotta be
I
on second.
can't do it.
But I don't
I
see
can't
him
do
not
it.
making an All NBA team.
I
You have
can't do
De'Aaron
it.
Fox over Sabonis?
No,
Me?
Oh, she
He's
doesn't
not
have
on the
De'Aaron
list
Fox at
either.
all.
no. If anything, Fox
No.
would be on third with him because Fox statistically did have a good year. They just couldn't win games. Also they don't as a team they don't hold defense. So unless they outscoring you, they not winning the game.
So
But
Kings fans, drop in the chat. Ash doesn't have De'Aaron Fox or Sabonis.
I'm not a Kings hater. I'm not. It's just the
wait, so
ninth seed isn't
actually, who's your second team?
Anthony Edwards, Jalen Brunson, Kevin Durant, Kawhi, and LeBron.
All old head team and Ant.
So then
Yeah. And Brunson's my only.
who's your third team?
Steph, Book, AD, Jalen Brown, Halliburton. Jalen Brown got second team last year and is averaging similar numbers this year.
Where's Alston Şengün?
What?
Did he make the
No.
65?
No.
Then
Shouts out, honorable mention.
honorable mention.
Yeah, very, very
He would have been
much.
fighting for third. He would have been fighting
Yeah.
for third.
Yeah.
For his life.
Yeah, no, facts. Big facts.
But deserves a mention for sure.
Ooh. I think I'm gonna leave my second team as is.
Who's your second team? Okay.
Brunson, and I'm putting AD on second. Who else we say? Bonus,
KD.
KD. I'm gonna leave that as my second. My third, Book, Hallie, Steph. You make a great point about JB though. You make a great point about JB. I'll replace Fox with JB. What have left? Bron? Yeah. And Bron.
Okay, good. That's decent. I could see the argument for Sabonis. I don't want people out here thinking I'm crazy. I see it. And I probably would have given him the edge if they weren't bottom of the barrel.
That's so tough with teams because
And it is very tough.
I mean we giving AD and Bron a lot of props and they are 8 seed. You know what I'm saying? They barely beat out Sacramento for the 8 seed. You know, so
No, aren't they
at
7?
the bottom
They're 7.
now, but they
Oh,
were
I see what you mean. Okay.
yeah. So, but I think all them between the Warriors like they won no more than a game, separated from each other. So it's tough. I get it though. I get it, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what they say. I think first team is a lock across the board. I know.
Yeah.
Irk said he wasn't putting Giannis on first team. I don't know what weed strain he smoked that day, but
He said Brandon Pajinski is in the DPOY conversation. He is fully invalidated on whatever take he has.
he is indeed. Segment time.
Woo woo! I'll do one.
Okay.
All right. I'll go in order too of position. Point guard, 6'4". Shooting guard, 6'4". Small forward, 6'6". Power forward, 6'8". Center, 7'2".
That's not the OKC Thunder?
Nope. Wait a minute. You know that episode of Martin and Gina where Tommy and Pam get together And Gina's behind the couch, and she's like, "Oh, both ends of the couch." That's the look you gave, Steve.
I'm trying to figure out. I'm like, who's 7'2"? Wait.
Yeah.
He ain't 7'2".
I'm not gonna lie, this was tricky for me too. Didn't know this person was 7'2".
So it's not a clear 7'2".
And it could be to y'all, but in my opinion, I thought it was like on the edge, 6'10" ish.
You said the small forward was 6'6".
I did. Yep.
6'4", 6'4", 6'6", 6'8", 7'2". Who's a 6'8" post small? Who's a 6'8" power forward?
All right, that could be
Wait,
misleading. Not technically a power forward, but plays in
Plays the
that
corner
position to be in the
lineup.
in the starting
Okay.
five.
Okay.
Yeah, but wouldn't be considered a power.
It ain't Phoenix, right?
No.
Yeah, because
But
he
that's a good thought. Similar to KD, how he's
86.
actually something else but plays power.
wait. So it's not in the West?
No.
Not the Charlotte Hornets, no?
No.
Okay, I was like, we're getting into the depths.
Boston?
Yes.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
about to say, yeah, Jesus.
Okay. Because I'm like, I'm sitting
But
I
here.
wait,
knew it. I saw you thinking about it for some reason, if that makes sense.
I'm like, well, because I was like 7'2". I was like, okay, Porzingis would track, but I was like, who plays 2 6'4" guards? And I was like, Drew and Derek White.
Yep, yep,
yeah,
yep.
And then that's why it makes sense. The 6'6" and 6'8" makes sense now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Jaylen Brown 6'6".
yeah.
yeah, yeah. That is tricky because it's a.
Second one.
I wouldn't put a Porzingis at 7'2" either.
I know. Like I didn't know he was this. I guess I should say I thought he was a 7-footer, but not 7'2".
Yeah.
Yeah. Right after you said Boston, like I was ready to say it with you, but I was like, he's got it. He's locked in.
Sheesh.
We we,
I mean,
we
I
get a
was
second
definitely thinking out west though for some reason. I don't know why I thought it was a team out
Yeah.
west.
I could definitely do a second one. Hold on.
go.
Miguel said my redemption.
Yeah.
No, 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 no. Just fun.
All right.
Great, great work.
Guard 6'5".
Damn. Okay.
Guard 6'5". Forward 6'8". Forward 6'7". Center 7 feet.
Are you trying to trick me now? Are you
I'm
trying to
not.
go?
Would you like me to be specific? It's
No,
kind of weird because certain positions, like you're a guard, but you might not be seen as a.
because I feel like I just said this team. Because now I'm seeing it, but I don't think it is. I think
6'5", 6'5",
It's
6.
not a team that you've mentioned. No.
okay, yeah, I was okay.
6'5", 6'7", 6'8", and 7 foot.
Hmm.
Nah,
Here, wait. I'm about to really do. I'm about to bring up a list of teams.
I'm about to click out on these. I'm about to.
mm, mm. Did they have a winning record?
Yes.
Hold on. No, 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 no. No. Damn, I just get rid of the 6'5", 6'5", 6'8", something 7 foot.
6'7", 7". Honestly speaking, didn't know this person was 6'8". Just gonna be
Denver Nuggets,
no. Who did you think was 6'8"?
Michael Porter Jr.
Oh no, I feel like he's about 6'8".
Yeah.
Clippers.
Yes.
Wow.
You on fire. Yeah.
That's
Now what
nice.
gave that away? Is it when I said I didn't think this person was 6'8"? I didn't know PG was 6'8". I gave him 6'6".
Big guard.
Oh, it was well 6'5". Well, both guards at 6'5" stood out. So I was like, but is that who is that counting? Is that counting Russ at one of the guards or no?
James
Hard.
and Terrence Mann. Yeah.
He makes even more sense.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
was just getting to the Clippers. I was like,
The
two
7-footer helped. I was like, okay, Zubac's a 7-footer. So that makes
Yep.
sense. And then yeah. But
No, that
Terrence Mann was the other guard. I was like, that's a
who's
6'5".
6'5"?
Yeah. So yeah. 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 All right. Hey.
Rolling.
Yeah.
You on a roll.
Nice.
Yeah. I like it. 2-0, Gail.
There's no
Here.
keep score. I'm 0-2 on the week already.
No, you got the team. You got the team last pot. You got the team. You guessed the Kings.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
No,
2-1.
I was talking about Midnight League. But yes, absolutely.
Do we have any updates?
Minor. Face
Not 30 minutes worth.
yeah, not 30 minutes where someone I faced them with a 4.4 million views on their highest balls life clip. Held my own. Lost by 3.
Okay, who'd that be?
Shouts out Trey Jefferson. Texas Southern, Hamilton grad. Dog. He got there at halftime, took it super light.
It's almost looking super light.
Cooked. Yeah, did what I could. Hit timely shots, just too late as usual. So the last game, like I was telling Qualls, I feel like QBR was very high, just couldn't get it done. Turned it on too late. 20-7 ain't gonna cut it. False stats. So next game I'm gonna face someone that has got a clip that has 700,000 views, dunking on 2 people. So that'll be nice. Comp is great. Let you know how that goes. Dad showed up to the last game. He said he'd never seen me play defense like that. So 2 steals in the clutch, 2 big threes. I'll in a loss. So I mean, gotta do better.
Shout out Pops, man.
Gotta do
Shout
better.
out Pops.
Shout Pop saying I played defense. That's the one thing he tried to get me to do, did not. So here we are.
Well, we'll have more league updates, more playoff talk, and more cooking next episode.
Dub coming soon. I'll get some footage. It sounds like urban mythology that someone that looks like this putting up anywhere near 20. So I'll get only one I have is me rolling my ankle. So can't post that.
Jesus. Yeah, you are getting old, brother. But until next time, we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.